Hello, and welcome back to BikeRide.com reviews. I'm Scott, and whether you're new or returning, it's great to have you here. Aventon is a name that rings a bell in the e-bike world, with some very high-quality bikes. And the new Level 2 continues this tradition, building on the success of the previous model. The Level 2 brings some serious upgrades in tech, mech, and power. So you are going to want to stick around to learn more about this high-value commuter e-bike from Aventon. It has all the makings of a best-in-its-class e-bike set to dominate the commuter space. But it's time to see how it does in person, putting it through the test as only BikeRide.com can. So let's get started. But before I roll the intro, if you like these videos, please leave me a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and get in the comments if you have something that you want to say. Now let's get started and go ride some bikes. The Level 2 from Aventon is a commuter style e-bike, equipped from stock with relevant features, such as fenders, a rear rack, and well-integrated lights. The bike is both well-built and good-looking, and the frame and paint job really stand out. Its design retains many aspects of a standard, if overbuilt, commuter bike, and its design will make riders accustomed to unpowered bikes really feel at home. The ride quality is excellent, with a comfortable seating position and pedalability, plus that suspension fork will smooth out the ride. The tire choice is also well suited to the bike, offering additional volume for extra traction and ability while falling short of a balloon tire and its negative attributes. Then we have the new tech that's included, starting with a torque sensor, which really smooths out the operation of that rear hub motor, increasing both range and performance. The result is a responsive and pleasant application of power, smoothly matching your pedal input. Another high-tech feature that makes operation simple is the large color display, which is compatible with an iOS and Android app from Aventon. This lets you control the bike with Bluetooth, track your rides, and connect with the Aventon community. So the Level 2 really brings a lot of value and tech for the price. But how does this all feel during riding? Let's get into our pros and cons to learn more. Our first pro for the bike is the design. The Aventon Level 2 is well built, showing the moment that you see the bike. The frame and bike is really aesthetically pleasing. It's well painted with very nice welds, and the design of the frame complements the bike. It has a sloping top tube for easier dismounts and an athletic seating position. Other items include beautifully integrated rear lights located in the seat stays, which assists with driver awareness. And the rear rack is also well integrated into the bike and convenient, as well as the complete front and back fenders, which do a good job keeping you clear from road debris and water. The bike has been kept to a reasonable weight of about 60 pounds for ease of use, combined with a well thought out tire size, which finds a nice middle ground. It offers enhanced traction and float in looser terrain with a 2.1-inch tire, while still able to fit in bike racks and be easy to maneuver compared to larger fat tires that we often see. The bike's control is also intuitive and simple. It has a large 5-button touchpad, featuring dedicated buttons for all functions as well as a large color display. The smartphone app is also compatible with all operating systems, allowing you to control the bike and access lots of social functions, such as tracking rides and sharing them or keeping up to date with Aventon updates. I'm also a big fan of the fact that this bike is available in 2 different frame sizes. This allows users to find a much more accurate fit than the one-size-fits-all method that we too often see. Our second pro is the bike's components. The Level 2 features a set of high-quality components to enhance its ride quality, and these include Tektro hydraulic brakes with 180mm rotors. And the second enhancement is an 8-speed Shimano Acera drivetrain with a 12 to 32 tooth cassette. The trigger shifter included with this group set is precise and pleasant to use, and it's a huge upgrade over a basic TX50. The Aventon has also upgraded this bike by including a torque sensor on the unit. This really changes the performance of the motor, making the bike much more comfortable ride on different terrains. Our third pro is the ride quality. The Aventon Level.2 is a joy to ride because it retains many of the aspects of a regular bike. The frame is a more athletic forward stance, which inspires a better pedaling position and more power to the pedals in general. But it still retains a comfortable balance, allowing you to straighten your back for comfort, or you can get down to business pedaling. It has a very natural ride quality that many commuters currently riding unpowered bikes would definitely appreciate. With a modestly sized frame, reasonable weight, and a more common sized wheel and tire. It does not feel like a motorbike or moped, and it can fit into all the same spaces that a standard bike could. The torque sensor also enhances this ride quality, changing the hub motor from its on-off mechanical type operation and replacing it with a much more intuitive input that better matches your pedaling. It produces a more natural application of power that leaves you feeling more in tune with the bike, which inspires confidence when you're climbing, accelerating, or just riding in general. The first con for this bike would be steep or repetitive hill climbing. The Aventon Level.2 features a standard-sized 500 watt nominal output motor, which is capable of 750 watts at peak output. Now, these motors are not as powerful as a 750 watt nominal motor, which means that they can sometimes struggle on exceptionally steep hills, and we often mention this with 500 watt motors. So typically, the terrain that it would struggle on would be over 16-degree grade, which is more of a grade than a lot of people would be riding, but good to mention. So while this motor is very quick and peppy over most terrain, we just like to warn users who are planning on riding very steep hills or repetitive hills that a larger 750 watt motor may be a better option for them for this specific hill climbing application. And the second con had to do with that torque sensor and it being combined with a rear hub motor. So the torque sensor is a wonderful asset for this bike, and it definitely enhances the ride quality in general. But on the opposite side of this, the torque sensor does require more input to maintain a top speed. So this is mostly evident when you're cruising or climbing hills, because the motor really responds to the amount of force that you're placing on the pedal. So when you're not pedaling hard, you're not going to receive as much power from the pedal assist. This can affect you when you're trying to cruise at top speed or climb hills when you're more tired. If you use the throttle, you'll see that that really provides additional power as it's putting out the maximum power available. And in some circumstances, this is going to be better off. So what does the bike do best? This bike was really built for commuting, and it meets those needs perfectly. It's well designed for the purpose, being easy to pedal and simple to control. The components and accessories definitely increase performance, such as the bright integrated lights for night riding and general visibility. And the rear rack and fenders are also essential components. When combined with the IPX4 water rating for the bike, it's ready to get to work in any weather. So it's really hard to point out many items on the bike that make it unsuitable for commuters or recreational riders even. This bike could even be used as a long-range touring bike if you can keep it charged up at different locations along the way. So what are some reasons to look elsewhere with this bike? Well, in my opinion, Aventon knocked this build out of the park, and it would be tough to see someone looking for a commuter bike and not finding the Level.2 meeting their needs. However, individuals with a passion for riding off-road should probably look elsewhere, and this bike would be best suited for pavement and mild dirt or gravel roads. It's a functional bike for transport and cruising. So starting to dive a little bit deeper with the frame and geometry. Users are greeted with a fairly conventional looking e-bike here. The Level.2 has a well-built frame with great paint and welds, and it has a sloping top tube that clips towards the seat to reduce standover height. The frame provides a fairly athletic stance on the bike, and it's comfortable for applying pedal power and pedaling. The overall weight of the bike is approximately 60 pounds or 62 pounds, keeping it manageable by e-bike standards. The bike is really a good fit for users who currently bike commute, as it has a very natural feeling that would really translate well for most riders, and not going to make people who are used to a conventional bike uncomfortable. Looking at the measurements on this bike, we have a seat tube measurement of 17.5 inches, a reach measurement of 14.3 inches, a stack measurement of 22 inches, standover height of 26 inches, a virtual top tube length of 22.7 inches, and the saddle will extend from between 32.8 inches off the ground to 39.9 inches from the ground, giving us a recommended rider height of 5'3" to 5'10" for this standard size frame. So it's good to note that this frame does come in two sizes, and the size that we have here is a standard or regular size frame, which is meant for individuals 5'3" to 5'10". Now there is a larger size frame, which is going to take up people from 5'10" to 6'4". So this frame is a little bit small for me, but they do offer another frame, which would probably be a perfect fit. Next, looking at the motor. The motor is a 500 watt nominal motor, which is capable of 750 watts at peak output, and it's branded with the Aventon logo. During operation, the motor was responsive and fun to use, especially at higher voltages. The bike motor could move the bike easily in most terrain and reach its top speed very easily. And it also offers good speed and acceleration with the throttle. It offered a 0 to 20 time of just 7 seconds using pedal assist. The motor did meet its match with steep and repetitive hills though, showing its size when it was facing inclines of more than a 16% grade, as it accomplished these kinds of climbs at a relatively slow pace. The Aventon is simple to control with its 5-button touchpad and full color display. You can also use the connected smartphone app for other accessibility and controls. The 5-button touchpad has 5 dedicated function buttons. This means you won't need to remember which button you need to long press for your lights or to access that menu. The color display is bright and easy to see, with nice functionality and features. It's very simple to see your speed, odometer, assist level, and battery level. Plus, that battery level is displayed as a percentage for great range estimates. The display also has some fun functions, like seeing how many trees you've saved and how much CO2 you've saved with your current trip. Next, looking at the battery. The Aventon uses a fairly standard 48 volt or 14 amp hour battery, which offered impressive performance and range when paired with that torque sensor. The battery was able to power us for over 30 miles using the maximum assist level and throttle only. And this was a result that could easily be extended if we were to turn down the assist level, extending that range to hit somewhere closer to the 60-mile claimed range. Now, Aventon does note that this 60-mile range was accomplished at a pedal assist level of 1 with a rider of 160 pounds on flat terrain. So it's great to see a battery of this size well utilized on this bike, with the controller programming and torque sensor giving you a great range. In total, our range test was 30.45 miles, with 1,516 feet of elevation, over 1 hour and 56 minutes, with an average speed of 15.7 miles per hour. Charger, battery removal, and keys. The Aventon Level.2 continues the trend of high value with the charger, which is a 48 volt, 3 amp output charger. This is technically a fast charger, and it allows the bike to recharge in about 5 hours. The bike can also be charged with the battery installed, or the battery is very easily removed for bringing it indoors to charge it. All you have to do is insert the key, turn it, and then release the battery fully with the tab located above it on the down tube. This lets the battery loose from the frame. Inserting it is exactly the opposite. Just note that the key needs to be installed for the battery to go back in all the way. After installing the battery, you click it back into place and then you lock it into the frame with the key for a secure fit. And next, looking at the drivetrain. Commuters are going to be shifting gears a lot, so it's great to see a nicely appointed drivetrain on this bike with the Shimano Asira group set. The 8-speed trigger shifter is crisp, and it's definitely a nice upgrade from other basic options like the TX50. The 8-speed 12 to 32 tooth rear cassette is also a nice upgrade. It gives you some great additional range for hill climbing and high speeds. With a bike capable of a sustained pace of up to 28 miles per hour, it's essential that you have the range in your drivetrain for a comfortable cadence. The front chainring also features a double-sided guard to keep your pants clean and free of the chain. Next, looking at the brakes. We have a set of Tektro E350 HD hydraulic brakes, which offer great braking performance for the Level 2. They were definitely confidence inspiring when operating this bike at a high speed like 28 miles per hour. It's great to see Tektro brakes on this bike. I've always been a fan of the brand and I really think that they produce great products. So we can see them in action here during testing, bringing us a pretty good overall performance in the brake test, which beats out some recent competitors with a total stopping distance of 18.5 feet. And next, looking at the wheels, tires, and fenders. Connecting us to the ground, we have a set of 27.5 inch by 2.1 inch hybrid tires from Chaoyang with reflective sidewalls. They are a pleasant size, using a conventional 2.1 inch diameter that will fit into bike racks on cars easily and is easy to maneuver. They also provide enhanced traction and float over loose terrain over a smaller tire. It's a well thought out choice for this type of bike that gives us a balanced performance in all situations. The tires are mounted on a set of 27.5 inch double-walled aluminum rims. When it comes to safety, the Level 2 has a very nicely integrated set of rear lights, which are located in the seat stays and offer good visibility from the bike's rear. The bike also comes with a front headlight. Both are integrated with the bike's electronics and they're controlled from the control pad. The bike also features the standard motor cutoff switches on both brake levers. The contact points on the Aventon Level 2 are comfortable, starting with the grips. Made from a grippy rubber, they're a lock-on style grip and they blend nicely with the bike's looks. They're pleasant underhand and they don't slip or move around on the bike, so I'm a big fan of these grips. Next, looking at the saddle. The saddle is a Velo saddle made for Aventon and it's branded with the logo. It's a pretty comfortable saddle and it's good enough for short to mid-range rides. But being on a more athletic-sided kind of saddle, it doesn't offer that much cushioning. So I found that on our 30-mile range test, the saddle became less comfortable towards the end of the ride. Next, looking at the pedals on this bike, the pedals are a flat style from the brand Feeman and are functional for the bike. With smaller spikes, they provide reasonable traction and are just fine to get you out riding, but they might be a little bit slippery in certain conditions or with certain shoe types. Well, it's safe to say that Aventon has done it again, bringing us a wonderful bike that will surely find many happy riders. When we take a look at the Level 2, we find that it's been very well built, that we need to work pretty hard to find any negatives. So if you're looking for a great commuter bike that's really up to the task and ready to work, look no further than the Level 2 from Aventon. Is this bike for you? Check out the detailed specs at bikeride.com and see user and expert reviews. You can also check out other great e-bikes and see them rated to find your perfect match. Do you have a question or something that you want to say? Let me know in the comments and we'll start getting you some answers. And if you liked this video, please give us a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep on bringing you the latest e-bike reviews and news. As always, I'm Scott with bikeride.com. I want to thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy the ride.